Welcome to the Gig List Podcast, a podcast showcasing the works and talents of those who lost their gigs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This podcast will feature a range of creatives from the tri-state area who are young visionaries and who contribute to the craft despite the recent events that have happened. Join us today as our host Remi Leibovic speaks with Ariana Gates, the singer-songwriter from Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Ariana has been on various musical acts featuring wedding bands and pop ensembles, as well as performing solo through the New Jersey area. Ariana looks forward to sharing her music later on in the year, bringing her vibrant voice and soul to any project she's on. Enjoy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Gig List, the podcast about, everyone that lost their gigs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So today we have our guest, Ariana.
Hi.
Ariana, what's your last name?
Gates.
Gates?
Like Bill Gates, but not related, unfortunately.
Aw, all that money.
I know.
So, Ariana, tell us about yourself. When did you start playing music or taking an interest in music? Because you're a very interesting guest. You're actually a wedding singer.
Yeah. So, my dad was a recording engineer, so I grew up in that environment, so it was always just kind of like, this is normal, right? So I was just always singing as a little kid, recording myself at 10 years old, like singing Kelly Clarkson songs, like, oh, I'm gonna be on Broadway, like I love this. But then like when I got to high school, I started taking it a little more seriously and, improved at guitar enough to accompany myself and was like showing up at all the open mic nights at school and all that jazz. And then I went to William Patterson, their pop music program, which was awesome. But
What do you hold a degree in?
Bachelor of Arts with a concentration in popular music studies. That's what it's called.
Very.
I'm
very
not used to ever saying it because it was just the pop program. That's all but yeah, I'm 24. I'm in North Jersey. I'm working my way through trying to get the original music thing going. Have some songs ready to release when it's possible.
Yeah, I can relate to half of that.
Yeah.
The 24 being in North Jersey, I could definitely relate to half of that. So, okay, so you said that you have stuff coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have like my first single all ready to go. I had it mastered, like it's all good. And of course, the last step was, let me get this photo shoot done so I can get all of the, art around the single all together so it really is legit and I have the whole package ready to go. Of course, social distancing, we are not doing photo shoots at the moment. So I keep having to, until I do that, I feel like I can't put the song out. So I'm kind of just waiting on that. And then I have another song ready to go to put out after this one to, keep the momentum going a little bit.
Mhm.
And then, but, I'm taking the time to just keep writing new songs because, I think within the next year, I want to do an EP, like a 4 or 5 song EP and have that out.
So are you a soprano or an alto? What's your
I
range?
think I'm an alto. I'm not
You're
like
an alto?
I'm not classically trained in that sense. So I don't,
Ah.
I got range, but I think I'm an alto.
Oh, bet, for sure. So you're a wedding singer is how I found you.
Right.
And
That's one of my main gigs.
does everybody tell you about the
This
movie?
podcast. Sorry, say again?
Does everybody tell you about the movie, The Wedding Singer?
No. Well, actually, people bring it up to me sometimes. I've only seen it like one time. So I think people reference it and it probably goes right over my head because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh.
So I should probably see it. But yeah.
So who have you worked with while being a wedding singer?
Well, I all of these gigs are with one company. So it's Bud Malton. He's in Paramus. It's Metropolitan Music. Um, he's actually was a friend of my dad's, and he's been doing this for like 40 years. Like he's like one of the last like real old school party wedding band people, club date gig people, around. Um, so but he hires me throughout the wedding season. So like last year, pretty much every Saturday and most Friday nights, I was at a wedding, at somebody's wedding, just singing and playing tambourine and rocking out.
So what's your typical gig? Is your typical gig a wedding, or is it open mic like you said, or are you playing
My
a smaller venue?
typical gig, if we're talking about like real paid gigs, are the wedding gigs as of now. That's like if I'm thinking of like when I play music and when I make actual money that meaningful amounts of money, it's the wedding stuff. And holiday parties during that season too. We get a couple like big rich people holiday parties in the city, which is
That sounds
those are
snazzy.
bangers. Yeah, it's a lot of drunk rich people. Yeah.
So so that's primarily how you make your living, is through wedding singing.
Right.
And how did you get into that?
I mean, I've known this man, Bud, for like my whole, he was a family friend first, so I've known him my whole life. And I mean, in high school, he invited me to just come on a gig just to like see what it was like. Um, and he let me like come on stage and sing some background vocals, and but I wanted to work for him. I wanted to make money singing, and in an immediate way, this was a good way to do it.
So you're academically rounded because you have a degree, you have a BA
Yeah.
with a focus in popular music.
Yeah.
So as someone who's academically trained, do you feel that your degree was able to enhance your career?
It will when I start applying it.
Okay. I feel that.
Yeah. And at the very end of 2016, my dad passed away.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
So it was it's all right. But it was kind of like, I kind of froze for a while, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm just now getting unfrozen. Like I've just kind of gotten to the point where, okay, the wedding gigs are great, working part-time at Guitar Center is great, working on my original music's great, like this is all good, like I live a pretty charmed life, like it's all good right now, but I'm getting really uncomfortable being comfortable, and I'm really ready to like do it. Like I really, really, really want a career playing my music, making money that way. And that's what I want to do with my life. So I'm ready to do it.
And apply it.
Yeah, apply it. And, this degree, I mean, it was a great program because you kind of got a little of everything. I took some songwriting classes. I took a couple of like audio and like electronic music classes to sort of familiarize myself with a DAW, a digital audio workspace, I think. Yeah. And a lot of it was based around like the structure of the entertainment industry. So I got it all logged back here of like how to make it happen. And now it's just time for me to actually use it and apply it to my life. Yeah, so it was a really cool program. You kind of got a little of everything. So I took some songwriting classes. You took some audio courses to kind of familiarize yourself, and you took there were a lot of classes that were about like how the entertainment industry is structured. So I kind of like, I have all this like incredibly useful information as somebody who wants a career in the music industry, all kind of logged in my back of my brain, ready to go whenever I'm ready to use it. And now that I'm kind of like in this next stage of like, all right, I'm ready to unstick myself and like really let's get the ball moving here. It's time to move.
Absolutely. So how has COVID-19, this pandemic affected your career so far, your gigs?
I think actually more as we're talking, actually, I'm realizing like more than I even realized because, okay, I'm like, put my day job, I work at Guitar Center part-time, which is like a great way to make some money. That's put on hold for now, go back to work whenever Bergen County says I can. Um, the wedding season starts now. So I was supposed to have a couple gigs in March and a couple gigs this month in April that all got canceled or postponed to I don't even know when. It's hard to say when they're going to pick back up again. It's hard to say like if they're going to trickle back in or if everything that was scheduled will just start up at a certain date and then it'll just all go back to normal. I don't know. But I do know that for like those like that like 5-6 month period of the year, like I'm making half like 50 to 60% of the money I'm making is doing these gigs every weekend. So at least for the next couple of months, that's gonna be a little rough not having any income from that. And I mean, like personal career wise, like with original stuff, like I said before, like I'm ready to put out a single. I'm ready to start booking myself gigs. I'm ready to really get out there and like start making really making content and like pedal to the metal and like really committing my life to it. And I was like really feeling like I was starting to get on a roll and then they were like, go inside. So that was it. So I, in the meantime, it's like, I was actually talking to my mom yesterday. Oops, sorry. And it's all you can do is like, I mean, anybody can do, but especially people that like us that are like to create things. Like that's the essence of what you do is you create things that weren't there, and share. Because I mean, as a musician, like I love performing because I just love sharing it with people. Like I love being on stage. Listen, I'm a Gemini. I love attention, like all that stuff. Like I love being on stage because who doesn't love? I mean, I guess people who have stage fright hate it, but I love attention. I love being on stage. I love it. It's literally the best. I feel it most at home. It's the best ever.
Really?
But
I want to see what your sun sign, I want to see what your moon sign is because I think you might be a Leo rising because Leos love being in the spotlight. And I know a lot of Geminis that are very like background, low key, like they like being
maybe. I don't know that. I haven't gotten into that stuff enough. I just have co-star. But like
if you type in your birth time, you can find the whole thing about what you are. Yeah.
And I'll look that up when we're done here. I'll
Exactly.
let you know. But in the meantime, like, okay, not booking any gigs right now because nobody's open. Maybe I'll have a photo shoot next week, a very socially distanced photo shoot. And then I can get the single together. This would be a good time to put a song out because no one's doing anything else, so people will listen. So that I'm thinking will happen soon enough. I'm not super stressed out that that's going to be like months and months pushed. I think like within the next 2 weeks, I can have the photo shoot. I can get that rolling again. But in the meantime, I'm trying to flip the script for myself instead of being like, oh my God, we're all stuck inside. There's nothing to do. Like, I can't do what I want to be doing. It's like, no, Ariana, like, okay, one of your goals this year was to do a 4 or 5 song EP. Like, what better time to write all those songs than when you literally have nothing else to do and you're not allowed to go to work and you don't think about it. You don't have other gigs you have to go to. Like, that's it. You have nothing to do except create things.
Yeah, think about it as an artist residency because I know a lot of people that are artists are going out and posting like quarantine is actually just my regular studio lifestyle. And I'm like, that's great for you.
I would imagine like especially for like engineers that are just like in the studio all day editing and mixing and editing and mixing. This is just like
they're like, what's the light
complaining about?
Yeah, they're like, what's the light? So on a more introspective point, how are you coping with this, like emotionally and mentally?
I'm definitely going a little stir crazy, like very antsy. I'm very bored. It definitely feels really lonely. I have like, I'm a very lucky person. I say this all the time, like, I have the best friends. Like, I have the best friends of any friends anyone's ever had. Like, I love
Aw.
my best friends. And like we're like the three musketeers, like inseparable. Um so it's just like really hard to not be able to just sit with your friends and be with them in person and like give them a hug and like cook dinner together and just hang out. And you know it's just me and my mom in the house. It's pretty isolating. There's nothing to do. You can FaceTime all you want, but we all know that it's not the same.
It isn't.
It fills the void a little bit, but humans are social creatures, so being isolated is definitely hard for everybody, I think, in the same way, because we're all feeling the same thing.
Yes. What are you doing in response to all this? Are you doing any new projects? Are you looking into different ways into expressing yourself?
Actually, okay, so I wrote so far I think in the past week, I wrote 2 new songs with a friend who lives out in LA. We wrote over FaceTime, which I have never done. And it's like, oh, we can write a song over FaceTime. It's the same as being in the room. Honestly, it's like it's the same thing. It's just as easy, because this particular person that I write with often and have written a lot of songs in the past with, and I kind of look to as sort of a mentor, because I like wrote my very first songs with him, and like he sort of has always been like a little guidance.
It doesn't throw off the vibe to be so far away, because I
No,
know that a
it
lot
just
of
feels like we're
musicians.
hanging out. It literally doesn't make a difference.
Okay, so that's great.
Yeah, so that's been fun. Like we finished a new song yesterday, and we were like, "This is a great pop song! Oh my gosh!"
So pop is your main genre.
I mean, personally, I like a pop soul thing, but I'm kind of figuring it out still. Like, all right, well, who am I as an artist, and who am I as a songwriter? Which I think is like a whole
Yes.
different conversation of like, what am I writing for me, and what am I writing of like, oh, I could pitch this to somebody and make some money. Who knows? Like,
Is it like that
yeah,
in the pop world?
yeah, because you can write. You could be someone who is a much more productive songwriter than I am, and write like 50 songs in a week. Like, there are people that are, I'm not there yet. I haven't practiced enough, but there are people who just can churn out 50 songs. Like and like they're not all great, but there's, out of those 50, there's going to be like 15 really good songs, 10 really good songs, and 5 like great songs. But you know how you sound as an artist, and the kind of songs you write, like some are great for you, and some are like, I don't think I'd want to sing this, but this is a great song for this person to sing. And then like that's how a lot of artists break in, is they break in as writing, they write for other people, and then they get noticed
Ghostwriters.
later on because they've got some street cred.
Do you have any street cred?
I sang on a Snuggie commercial when I was 15. Does that count?
I'm gonna put that commercial in the show notes.
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna find it.
There were 2 of them. There was one of them, I can't remember it. I just remember it just went, put on your Snuggie, Snuggie. And then there was another one to the tune of the Macarena. Feeling as warm as a bug in my Snuggie. I love my Snuggie.
Oh my God, I'm living for this.
I was so mortified, but I was like, Ariana, you're being asked to sing in a commercial, just do it. Like,
I'm actually like so happy. That brings me so much joy. Oh my God. So not only am I interviewing a wedding singer, but I'm interviewing a wedding singer that has a claim to fame through a Snuggie commercial.
That Snuggie commercial that aired at 4 a.m. That's me.
Adult Swim. that would just be
literally okay. Swim. No, but seriously, it's hilarious to me, because that commercial, I never saw it on TV, not once. I was still in high school when I did this. I had a sleepover with my friend, and we were still up at like 3:30 in the morning with the TV on.
The big premiere.
That is the one time I ever saw the commercial with the jingle. I was like, all right, this is my time to shine.
That's great.
3:30 a.m. on a Friday.
So what other Snuggie art forms are you expressing yourself with now? Because clearly your creativity is not limited, while your resources may be.
I've been really getting into, I mean, everybody has, it sounds so like not cliche, but just like I've been doing a lot of Instagram lives, but like everybody has. I've never seen so many people doing Instagram lives
It's
at night, like every
necessary.
night. But they're fun because it's like I want to hear what everyone's up to and playing, and you can't watch everybody's every night, but everyone's always doing them, so you can tune into someone one night, another one the next night. And I like, I mean, right now I'm doing it for fun, but I've noticed other people doing this trend of like planned, like actual shows. Like, I'm putting on a legitimate concert. The only difference is you'll stream it and I'm at my house. Which kind of looks like a really good idea. So I'm thinking that is something I will maybe put together the next week or so. Like a real, like a legit 30-minute set, and get my audio in order and really get it good. So it's less of
Yeah,
a casual, like, I'm playing guitar at 10 p.m. Hi, everybody. Like a real thing.
it's more broken in. Yes, actually, we've been seeing the utilization of things such as Twitch and Zoom and Instagram Live and Facebook Live. A lot of musicians are collaborating now through that. And another thing that I just want to say is, what do you think this is going to do in regards of, SoundCloud? Like, a lot of independent musicians are going to be, maybe people are going to become musicians in this short amount of time because they just have the time to practice.
It's kind of, it's like a little wild because it's not as if the internet hasn't already taken over the world, and like it's not like the internet didn't already totally change how the music industry works and like how people can get exposure, and how not easy like it's easy, but how many more avenues there are to being an independent artist and just kind of DIYing it.
Yes.
Which is kind of how it works now, because a lot of times a label doesn't want to sign you until you already have 50,000 followers. Like, they don't
That's
care unless
insane.
people already care.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
it's not
interesting.
like old school Motown where they're like, this kid can really sing, let's give him a whole career and like make it all happen. It's
I
like they
never knew
want to
that.
see that you've already done it.
But I wonder, if is that from a pop perspective, or is that for more classical? Because
No, I'm
what if
talking like
someone
the pop world. That's definitely
okay,
like the pop. Yeah, I mean,
because you build a portfolio for the other forms of music, for like the other genres. So like if you're doing classical music, I mean, Lizzo's flute has its own
I was
following,
literally
but
about to mention Lizzo.
yes,
Oh my gosh.
she's excellent. She's
I love
so
her.
well
It's
rounded when it comes
it's
to a
so cool.
musician. Yeah,
I was
that's the
literally
wave that
about to
we're on.
say Lizzo's been at this like for like literally 10 years. So, and I don't think she got signed. Maybe she got signed maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't really know her timeline, but like that before she got her record deal, like she had already like really created an
Oh
audience
yeah,
for herself.
I
And
I
she worked
listened
with Prince
to
at one point. She was doing background vocals on a Prince record. I was like, "What? Where
yeah,
what?"
I actually so I listened to her documentary, and one of her interviews, she goes, she studied flute, and that's why everyone's on the flute craze right now, is because she studied flute and she was going to professionally be a flute player. Like, she was going to go to the Paris uh, equivalent of the New York Philharmonic, and she
Yeah.
was going to be an orchestral flute player. And she's also trained in opera. She's just an all-around well-rounded professional musician, but pop just was the way that she went,
She like
the
had
genre
something
that,
to say there and she wanted to do it.
yes,
It's like Gaga.
absolutely.
Like Lady Gaga can really sing jazz. I mean, I don't know if a professional jazz singer wants to hear her scat, but like she can like hold her own, and she can, I mean, I would listen to Lady Gaga sing literally anything. Um
Are
but
these your
yeah,
influences?
my influences? No, I
Yes.
would say when I think about who influenced me the most, I would say Sarah Bareilles is like top, very high up on that list. Oh my god, I love her.
So what's inspiring you now then?
Um Honestly, what's inspiring me now is like the fact that we can't do anything is making, always want what you can't have. The fact that we can't do anything is making me want to do stuff so much more. And I'm like so antsy and I'm so ready to go. And I'm so feeling like, okay, I'm turning 25 in June. Like I'm ready to go here. Like I want to move. I had a trip to LA planned for April, had to cancel that. Don't know what I'm going to get there. Maybe July, but who knows? But like what's inspiring me to do anything musical now is just like I feel like what's like the visual I have in my head is when you play Mario Kart and before okay, let's just say you're Yoshi, and before it starts, the countdown starts, you can press A and like the engine starts going and you're making dust. Like that's how I feel like that's what I want to make out of this for me is, all right, let's utilize all this time and like get the engine going, so then when I'm finally allowed outside again, I can just like go.
Yeah, you're definitely revved up in the start zone and you're frozen.
I don't want it to be over because the whole world is in this state. So it's definitely like there will be an end point. But like I don't want it to be over and then look back and be like, oh my God, I had hundreds of hours of completely free time with no distraction except for my own nerves, and I didn't do anything.
Exactly.
I'm so mad. I'm already mad enough. Like, everyone's got regrets of what they did and didn't do. Like, why didn't I start doing this 2-3 years ago? Like, I should have done more, but okay, but you didn't. So let's start now.
Exactly. You got to be very
present.
present.
Work from where you are now, which I'm learning.
Exactly.
So
you need to take things day by day. And I feel that a lot of creative people, that the fact that they have to feel present in the current moment and make their art pieces based around, or just their music pieces or their performance pieces, whatever creative expression that you have, I think that now is the time, because if you don't do it now, then you won't have all this time later and you'll be looking back saying, I had all that time.
Yeah. And of course you also can't totally beat yourself up over it, because at the same time, like, we are going through a global pandemic and it's scary.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
It's intense. It's not terrifying. Like, I'm not scared personally. Like if I got it, like, okay, I'll feel really shitty for a week and then I'll not feel shitty anymore. Like, you get sick and then you get better, but there are other people who are not. And the whole idea of it, the whole state of the world is freaky right now. It's scary. So, if you're not at your absolute most productive because you're distracted by what's happening, like that's also okay.
Yeah.
But if you can manage to compartmentalize it a bit, which I've never been great at, but I'm trying to be like, okay, the world as it is right now is making me ridiculously anxious, and it's not going to change today or tomorrow or the next day. It's just what it is right now, and you can't change it yourself except for staying home. So let's put that over here. You're healthy, your family's healthy, feel really lucky in that. What can we do with this time to make something positive out of it, that then when it's over you can share with other people, and then they can share in that with you, which to me is that's the point of music, is like, it's, as an person who loves to perform and I love to sing, and it's like my true joy in life and like what I'm supposed to be doing. Obviously it's a self-fulfilling thing, but it's also like totally about bringing other people into it.
Exactly.
Like, you don't go to a concert just to stare at somebody doing what they're doing and not feel it with them. Like the whole point is that like you're all having this like human experience.
Yeah, there's definitely, I have a better time at shows when there's stage presence versus when there's no stage presence.
Oh yeah, when they're like we're all in this, it's like,
yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I hate it when you go to a show and there's people that are just like there just to be there, and they're just sitting there talking, and it's like, shh, like, why am I telling you to shh at a concert? I definitely believe that there's going to be a lot of new projects from a lot of creative people coming out, because a lot of creative people are sensitive.
The idea that we need to take care of each other, I think, has really come to the forefront for a lot of people. Me too. It's just made me
Yeah.
think about stuff. I know you just don't think about it, because why would you?
And you're so you said that you bring joy to the world, and on top of that, that's such a great thing because your main gig is at people's happiest moments of their lives, at
Oh
their
yeah,
weddings.
weddings. A good wedding is, honestly, there are times when I mean, it's like any performance. It kind of does depend on your audience. So if you're at a wedding and everyone's like really chill, it's like, okay, what are we rocking out for? No one's really interested. And like sometimes it's like kind of like those are the gigs where it's like, okay, 2 hours left, let's just get it over with. um but then there are other gigs where like people are like, holy shit, we're married, oh my god, and they're freaking out, the family's freaking out, and everyone's drunk and everyone's dancing and having the time of their lives. And like you run out there with a mic, and the band director sends me out there and I'm singing Party in the USA, having the time of my life. I don't know why, but I always end up having to sing that song.
So do you sing like Italian? I mean, I'm just thinking because North Jersey, Italian, Greek, Spanish. Do
No,
you sing in
so
different languages?
no, we're doing like party band, like Motown hits, pop songs. It's all like pop, dance. um During dinner, a lot of the times I'll play guitar and just sing like the Book of Love, like Peter Gabriel
Aw.
song, like stuff like that, just like dinner music. um and then but then during the party, there's two other singers, actually
Mhm.
technically three, because the guitar player also can sing. Everyone actually kind of sings. Everyone's got like a song. um um
That's fun.
yeah, it's super fun. Like the Yeah, I think a lot of club date musicians would agree that like the gigs that kind of suck, and the gigs that are fun are like really fun.
That's
um
great though. That's excellent.
yeah, like
And
when everyone's having a party and you can kind of party with them, it's awesome, because they're just like having an absolute ball, and you're a big part of that, because the music sucks. It kind of puts a damper on things, so it's nice to know that you don't suck and you're not putting a damper on things.
yeah, no, definitely. And so where do you see, because we're getting close to our marker here, where do you see yourself in the future?
Can I like not fantasize, but can I just be like really big about it?
Yeah.
Like, do I don't want to like do I don't want to be realistic. Like, people have so many reasons for why stuff won't happen. Like if I'm
Listen,
just going to
I'm
be like totally flat out honest, like what I want years from now, like I want to be playing venues
manifest
like the
it.
Bowery Ballroom. I want to be playing like bigger venues. I want to be selling my music. I want people to be connecting with it. I want to, have like a following that is not because I want to be famous, but because like I want to make music that people really love, because that's the whole point. I mean, you make it for you, but that only gets you so far. um I just
Absolutely.
want to be I want my life to be, you know, that's my job, is like I'm a singer, songwriter, performer. That's what I do. People care about it. Um, you know, I have other if I'm really thinking in the future, like far ahead, I have like this fantasy of like one day I'll be like a super successful musician, like I'll have a Grammy, I'll have sold a bunch of albums, I'll have all this money, and I'll buy a big farm and open an animal sanctuary.
Manifest it, girl.
That's like a
Manifest
dream I've
it.
always had, is I am going to open an animal sanctuary. I am gonna do it. One day I will have enough money that I can do that.
I'm coming over to pet the pigs, just so
All
you
the
know.
pigs, all the horses, all the sheep, all the dogs, literally any animal that needs a place to go this is in my fantasy animal sanctuary. That's where they'll be.
That you'll sing to every day
Right.
and people can have weddings on.
Right. Oh my God.
I just gave you a marketing idea.
That's so good, actually. Wow. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. So we're getting close to our time capsule. Where can people find you and where can people listen to your music or catch your shows?
Right now, you can follow me on Instagram. It's just Ariana Gates. Again, like I kind of said before, like I feel like I'm sort of starting over, so I don't actually have like tons of content out right now, but soon I will. Like soon I will have a single, 2 singles on Spotify. This year I will have an EP. I have a couple videos up on YouTube, but I think I actually took a lot of them down because they were old and I was like not interested in having those up.
It's okay.
But you know, if you wanted to like keep up with me, Instagram is the way to go, because that's where I'll be. That's kind of where I'm going to put all my focus of like from this point on. That's where you can see where I'm going and doing.
So, and this is just a question that I have too. Can people find, like, the company that you use to find weddings and book through, do they have clips of you, or do they have like an audio portfolio of you that you can like, that we can like go
I
and
mean,
see?
you can go on, because it's its own entertainment company. I'm like a hired gun. But you know, I mean, I'm part of the team because like if you go on there, it's I think metropolitanmusic.com, I think. If you go on
Okay.
that website, I mean, I'm sure I don't even know what's up there of me. I'm sure there's clips of me lip syncing to myself singing a song. It's a little
But
cheap,
that's
but
fun.
it's fun.
That gives you a personality. I
Yeah.
feel that it's incredible that you said that it's not even about how you sound, it's about your following. Because I think to some of these ridiculous quote unquote musicians that we've had, I'm like, I bet that these guys can't even mix. I bet, like, I was just like, there's no way. Like, where's the professionalism coming from?
No, it's like,
And then
you have to know that you got the goods. Like I'm confident enough that I know what I have and I know what I can do. And like, am I the best singer in the whole world? Definitely not. But am I really good at being me, doing what I do? Yes. And I
absolutely.
think that people connect with that. And I like to connect with people. I love to just be with people. And if I think about like, Ariana, what's your personal brand? Like, I've always kind of thought like my personal brand is like, that's Ariana. She's really real. She's really not trying that hard to look cool. She's just like rocking out and having a really good time and wanting people to have an awesome time with her, and just like singing really honest, earnest songs, and like being a really generous performer, like really giving people what you're feeling. Because the whole idea to me is like, whatever I'm feeling is not the first time anyone's felt it. Like, you know, I lost a parent. That's still the hardest thing ever. It's, you know, my dad was like my best friend. So I write songs about that, which are really hard to sing, and it's difficult, but like, you know, I'm sure that there's plenty of other people that lost their parents that connect with that aren't songwriters, but like can
Feel that.
they just vibe, you know? Everyone's saying that now. I feel
Oh,
like an
they
old
vibe.
lady. Everyone's saying that now. We're vibing.
Everyone's saying they vibe. The kids are saying they
The
vibe.
kids are saying that. Really, we're just vibing. That was honestly my grandma just came out of me.
It's okay. We got the Jersey accent. We're a bunch of Jersey girls and
Yeah.
doing it. Bagels. That's all I say. Like, to get myself
With
into
schmear,
Jersey
with
thing, I
lox
say
and schmear.
bagels.
Bagels.
Bagels. All right. Well, thank you all for listening to Gigless. This
Thank
has
you,
been
dolls.
Ariana. This has been Ariana Gates. Oh, like my gate that has to get fixed outside the front door. You know, they never come on time. But
I keep telling Morty to fix the hinge, but he won't get out there and do it for me.
Oh God, oh jeez. Well, thank you all for listening to this episode of Gigless. We'll see you next time. Tuning out here from Jersey.
Thanks so much. This was so fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the Gigless podcast, hosted by Remi Leibovic and produced by Dane Wagner. The song used for our intro and outro is Beach Walk by Unicorn Heads. If you enjoyed this podcast, head over to our social media pages on Instagram at Gigless Podcast and at our website, giglesspodcastblog.wordpress.com. There, you can find out more about the artist, contact the host and producer, and find out more about our schedule. Thank you.